Hey everyone, this is Amy Astro and welcome back. This week I have a new video for you and it's going to be an exciting one. We are actually going to attempt to polar align tonight. At this moment we have Tropical Storm Arthur blowing through the area, and the weatherman, who is always right, says I'm going to have about 2 hours of semi-clear sky tonight just so we can go through a polar alignment routine for you. I don't think it's going to be any good for me to image tonight, but that's okay. So, a while back I asked you all on YouTube via a poll, what do you use to polar align? And I gave several options. And the overwhelming amount of folks, as of this recording, said they use the Polemaster. And I've had some folks ask me if I could give an updated video on how to use the Polemaster. So that's what we're going to do this week. We're going to talk about the Polemaster and how to get it installed, running, and how to get all aligned. So stay tuned, y'all. We've got a lot to cover. So let's see, at this particular time, I'll say we've got 98% cloud cover. So I'm kind of holding my breath that I'll finish this video off tonight, but I'm hopeful. I mean, they said 10 o'clock. That's a couple hours from now, so we'll see what happens. But for right now, it is muggy out here. Oh my gosh, it's like 100% humidity. Very typical for the South. But let's get back on topic. We were talking about the Polemaster. Now, the Polemaster is this little gadget right here. It's by QHYCCD, and it is a high precision camera. And you take the lid off and you've got a camera here. Or, oops, it's really squeaky. I don't usually do this part. There are some folks that take the full cap off if they want. I typically don't. Okay? This Polemaster says that it can get you up to 30 arc seconds worth of accuracy. And the camera itself is wide field, so finding Polaris is usually pretty easy with this, as long as you get your mount pointed in the general direction. Okay? So you purchase this guy as one unit, but then you have to come back and purchase this mount adapter that is very specific to your mount itself. So I needed to get the one for the Skywatcher EQ6, and they're real easy. You unscrew the little thumb screw at the top, take off this little protective cover, which is nice, it's metal, and there's this little saddle in here that you have to install. There are four grub screws on the inside. You take your Allen wrench and you tighten them down, and then there's some more grub screws on the outside that can help you center up the Polemaster inside. But what you need to do is, you see this cable coming off to the side? Pretend this cable is your 3 o'clock position, okay? So if you mount it on your mount at the 3 o'clock position and tighten it down, okay? Then when you want to move right, you use your right knob. If you want to move left, you use your left knob. Just that easy. Up and down all makes sense. If you have this cattywampus, or I've seen some folks mounting it, you know, pointing down, then you've kind of got to go at an angle and it gets a little bit more complicated. But this one is set up so if I mount it in this position, it's about as easy gets, getting everything to work for me. Okay? So let me tell you one of the main benefits for using the Polemaster. It helps take some of the guesswork out of it, and remember having to sit on your down here and look through the end at the polar axis scope and shooting all the way through here? Do you remember how much your back hurts you or your knees hurt you trying to squat and look up in that angle? You don't have to do this anymore. You can just sit in your chair behind the computer and this does all the work for you. It is truly a blessing in saving your back and saving your knees. So that's the biggest thing why I like this one. One of the drawbacks of it, though, is that it requires you to have Polaris in view. So if I was at a location that I couldn't see Polaris, this would not be my best option for doing polar alignment. That's when I would probably want to switch over to something like drift alignment. And there's a bunch of videos out there that are really good on how to do drift alignment, and I'll see if I can leave a link up there in the corner for you to, if you're curious about how to drift align. So all I have to do now is plug up the USB to my hub. When it gets dark out, I find Polaris and turn on the program. And once it gets dark, I will show you how to finish this process. All right, I'm over here on the Polemaster's website, which is QHYCCD.com. And here they are showing us their Polemaster with a reference price of about $269, and the adapters are anywhere from $30 to $45 depending on the size that you need. And if we take a look at their specifications, they are telling us that with fine adjustment we can get up to 30 arc seconds worth of accuracy. The computer interface is a USB 2.0 port, and they require their software to use it. And weight-wise, it doesn't weigh much. It's 106 grams. But we'll go over here to the Download tab, and this is where we're going to get our driver and software. They have a nice little user manual here for you. But they've got a system driver that you need to install, and I choose the stable versions. And then you've got a Windows version here that's stable that you install this, and this is the software itself. And you need to be sure to have at least the driver installed prior to plugging in the Polemaster. It will just help everything sync up well for you. They do have a beta version for those that are brave, and if you want to check it out and see what it's all about. But the Polemaster also works on Linksys and Mac. Now they're saying that it's currently informal. It works fine for most Mac models, but not guaranteed type thing. Okay, so just install those two pieces of software and you will be up and running. So let's go see if it's gotten dark outside. Alright folks, so I am outside again, and what you would not believe is this is my third night setting up, trying to produce this video for you, and something has taken me out, whether it be clouds or parties in the backyard. So let's get started real quick, just in case the clouds decide to jump back in. Now I'm on my PC, I'm remoted into my laptop, and the first thing I want to do is activate my mount. Now I need to make sure that it is turned on, the power is on, and we're going to hit ASCOM Connect, and this is going to connect my mount to my PC. And currently, as you see, my telescope is in park, so I want to unpark it. Alright, now that it is unparked, we are going to open up the Polemaster app right here. Let's get it opening, and we'll see how well I did a rough alignment on it just a minute ago. And the goal here is, the first thing we want to do is connect the Polemaster, which is mounted on the front of the mount. And that looks pretty darn good. There is Polaris. It is the brightest one out there, and you can see my tree in the north, that it won't take long, that it is actually going to knock me out. Okay, but I want to get a little bit more room over here on the left, so I'm going to go over here to my, let's see, I need to line this up just a little bit. There we go. I wasn't completely in the home position, but let's get this started. Let's go ahead and move the mount using my AZ knobs at the front to give me just a little bit more space on the left. Okay, here we go. Let's make sure everything is locked down. Everything's snug. Good. So let's go back up to here. We've got more room on the left, so let's say finished. And what I like to use the center axis from the last time I was out. Now if you have been out for 2 or 3 nights in a row, sure, go ahead and use it. But since I set up and tear down every night, I want to use a fresh one each time. So I'm going to say no and choose a star other than Polaris. But you know what? Hold on. Let's go back. Let's have an instant do-over. I got in such a hurry because I'm seeing a bank of clouds coming in that I forgot this important step. Exposures. Let's make this just a touch brighter so we can see the other stars out there. This is increasing my exposure time. This is increasing my camera gain. Now I can see more stars. And let's see. That's probably just a little bit too much. Let's back down just a little bit. I am still technically in the blue hour. Okay. Let's go ahead and say finished. And let's double click on Polaris and look up here in this little magnifying glass at the green plus. And my goal is to get the green plus in the middle of Polaris best I can. Give it a good double click. And we want to rotate these circles around until we have a star in each one. We can use our mouse and a slider if we like, or we can use the arrow keys forward and backwards until we line up with something. So I'm just going to keep hitting it. Let's see. That looks like I have a star in each one. So that also verifies that I truly did pick Polaris. So now I'm going to say successful. And would I like to use the axis from last time? No, I do not, because I just set everything up. Here we go. Let's choose a star other than Polaris and double click on it. Now we want one because we're going to rotate our telescope around. It's going to stay in our frame. If I choose up here, it's going to go off screen on me. So I'm going to choose this guy right down here. He's a nice bright one. Again, I'm trying to get that green plus in the center. That's just me being a little bit picky, and it's not real easy. So I'm going to say double click. There's my center. And now we want to come over here to EQ mod because we want to rotate our RA axis, which happens to be our west axis. Now I'm going to come over here to speed on my EQ mod and take it down to 4. I have my speed set up at 714, which is a pretty good click. So I'm going to hold down the west button, and if you can hear or see if I can get the camera working, we are now rotating, and we want a minimum of 30 degrees. Typically I'll do about 45 degrees, and I'll stop it. There we go. And we'll say finished. Now we'll choose that same star again that we just had, and we will get in the center as best we can. Double click it. We'll go back to our west, and I'm going to take this till it's almost parallel to the ground, about 90 degrees. The bigger the star, the more accurate the bigger the circle, the more accurate you will be. All right, that's about it right there. I will say finished and double click on that same star. So here's my star, and double click on it. And you see the circle has just appeared around what appears to be Polaris, but really it's created an actual center spot for us because Polaris is not technically the very center. It is close, but is not exactly. So now I look at where my star is on this circle, and I take my telescope and send it to park. And it is rotating back up to home position. And we watch this star, and we want this star to stay on the green circle. The better it stays, the better your alignment's going to be. Because remember, the Polemaster is not doing any kind of plate solving for you. So it is depending on you saying where everything is. Alright, you can see right here I am on the circle. I'm not dissecting the circle. So if I didn't see so many clouds coming through right now, I would redo that part again. I'd say reset and try to pick that star just a little closer to the center. But I'm in panic mode right now. I'll be honest, I'm watching the clouds move in. And let's get this alignment done best we can. I'm going to say unpark my telescope. And let's minimize them off the screen because we no longer need to see them. And let's say this is correct. It is close enough for what we are trying to do today. Double click on Polaris. Okay. And there's Polaris. I'm double clicking. You see there's our 5 stars again. We'll use our arrow keys to get the stars back in the center. Looks good. We'll say successful. And now using our altitude and azimuth bolts, we'll move Polaris, which is right here, into this rotating circle. So I will put my mouse in that circle so I can see it in that magnifying glass. And it looks like I need to bring my mount down. So taking my mount down, I'm going to rotate the altitude button. I want to take it clockwise. There we go. So I'm just rotating until I get Polaris as close to the center of that plus sign as possible. Now I know when I tighten up the front knob of my altitude, everything shifts up slightly, so I take it down just a little bit. And now I'm going to tighten up the front, and you see it shifted up just a touch. And move it, my AZ, and shift it just a little bit. Oops, when you tighten it up, sometimes that's what happens. It gets over there. But it's, you know, getting over that static friction that naturally occurs when you first start moving something. So let's rotate it just a little bit more. Getting closer. There you go. That looks good. Okay, that's step one. That's the rough polar alignment. And we'll say finished. Now we double click on Polaris again. So remember, take your green plus and try to get it in the middle of Polaris. And double click. Our stars still look good in those circles, but I'm going to rotate it just one, just to make sure I get it as close as I can. That looks good. We'll say successful. Now please click the Start Monitor button. That is this button over here. And this is looking right here at what is actually our pole. Now the goal is to get the green square on top of the red circle. And it looks like I'm just a little bit to the left. So I want to spin my AZ just a little bit on the left side to see if I can get it to slide over to the right. Alright, let's give it just a little bit more. You can see the sky is just a little bit jumpy, but not too bad really. And that's not bad for a polar alignment. I think I'm going to adjust the altitude just a little bit more. Let's see. And this is where it always gets tricky because there is that static friction I'm trying to overcome. I'll loosen up that front bolt. And you see how it just slid right on down? But it looks like I need it to go down just a little bit more. So there we go. Let's tighten up the front again and see how far it moves up. That looks pretty good, but now I'm too far to the right, or am I? See, it's kind of jumping around. But that is because there is a bank of clouds moving in right now. But really, that right there is a pretty good alignment. You should easily get, let's say, a 4 to 5 minute exposure off of that. Now the Polemaster is only good for as close as 30 arc second. So it's good, but it's not perfect. It is only as good as you align it. So my original circle, if I had pulled it a little bit closer, it would look better. But really, this is not bad. I would run with this right now, and I would take some images. So this is how you use the Polemaster to polar align. Now that I'm going to accept this as my alignment, I will say finished. I can disconnect the camera and turn it off. Close the program. So what did you guys think of the Polemaster? Pretty neat little gadget, if I do say so myself. It will save your back, it will save your knees, and it is extremely useful for those of us that are just beginning. It takes the guesswork out of finding the pole, which is wonderful. But in my spare time, yes, believe it or not, I have just a little bit of spare time, I have created a website for you all, and I wanted to take a moment and show it to you. It is brand new, it's growing, so it doesn't have a whole lot on it right now, but I hope to be changing that in the near future. But the website is www.amyastro.com. Alright, so if we come over here and the world is talking to me, there we go, let's turn all that off. Let's see, the home page, I show you the blogs that I've got and work, and then a latest video section. But you can get more in-depth detail if you go straight to the video tab. It links up to YouTube, which makes life really easy, and it will show you in one nice colorful display what all the videos that I have been doing. And believe it or not, there are quite a few of them. I think we are closing in on almost 50, so we've been busy. I've got a blog section here where I'll just do some random thoughts and things that I'm finding out, and I'll share them with you. And hopefully, you know, some of the things that you all ask me, they don't really need a video, but they could use a few photos. So I'm hoping to add some of those answers over here on the website. I have a gear section where I do show you my telescopes and all the bits and pieces that I'm using to get them up and running, and some links so you can take a look at what the specs and such are. But I've got both of my telescopes here, Raven and the Freedom, and I'm hoping in the very near future, I'm gonna have a third scope up and running. Yes, I have fallen off my rocker. I think I have a third scope on the way, but you'll just have to watch more videos to see what it's all about. Very exciting times. But over here, I wanted to show you this image tab. These are all the images I've taken over the last couple years. Unfortunately, the last 6 months have been cloudy, overcast, and a hard drive failure wiped out what data I still had to process. So I am at a point now where if I don't get outside under some clear skies, I'm not going to have any images this year. That's not a good feeling. But if you click on any one of these images, they will take you over to my Astro bin page, and they'll give you the details on how each one of these were taken. And most importantly, if anybody wants to talk or ask questions and not have to post it for the whole world to see, send me an email through this contact button right here. Write what your question is, I'll respond to it. If I can make a blog post on it, I'll do that, or I'll make a video for you. And just like the YouTube page, this website is for you and to help you guys learn and grow. So let me know what you all want to see. That's what I've got for you guys this week. Thank you so much for spending your time with me. I do appreciate every one of you. So for now, I'm wishing you all some very clear skies and some great health, and I will see you all next week. Love you guys. Goodbye.